I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. As we turn to page 70, we continue with the topic of ornaments, and that's grade 5 Discovering Music Theory, page 70. Let's turn to that page now, and we return to the topic of turns, mordents and trills. And we can see here, as I mentioned previously, sometimes a trill can have a little turn at the end, and we combine the two to just kind of nicely finish off the trill. There are any number of ways that these can be applied in music. We're looking for the general shape of each one, but the practicalities are quite flexible when it comes to the performance of these ornaments. We just have to best fit them to the music. And so now we need to cast our eye over exercise 2 and name the ornaments that we can see on the music here. And so we're given this first one, we can see that's the turn, and we see that shape. That itself is the harmony note, or the melody note that will be the main note matching the harmonies implied. And then we have above the main note, the note itself, below the note itself. And so that would be written as the note on the line with the turn sign above it. And so here we can see two next door notes of equal value, and so that would have been written as a minim with an ornament before, and that's the appoggiatura, the leaning note as we can think of it, and it divides the two notes equally, the harmony note, the note of the melody that's given there, and then the ornamental addition just to kind of flourish on that extra note there. So that's the appoggiatura, and so spelling it's quite a task. It's double P, double G, appoggiatura. And then here we have a note that is mostly, it's kind of nearly a crotchet in value, but then we've got this quick little addition, and that's kind of just crushed in, and that's the grace note, or the acciaccaturas, where it's quickly just crushed in. And so again, spelling it, it's double C, A double C, double C, acciaccaturas. And then in this final one, we can see lots of rapid alternating notes with a little flourish at the end. And so although it feels like we've got two ornaments going on, it's an accepted form that after a trill we can end in a turn, and so generally speaking we would call that a trill because we've got this alternating next door notes. That's the main shape of it, with this little flourish at the end. So perhaps you feel you can now try exercise 2B. I'm hoping that you've had a go of that, and we'll check through this together. So here we have a note that is almost a full crotchet, and we've just got this extra little one squished in. That's our crush note as we could think of it. The grace note, or the classical term is acciaccatura. And then here we can see we've got next door notes in equal value, and so we can see the note has been shared equally with the ornament, and that's the appoggiatura, or we could say, think of it as a leaning note. The classical term is appoggiatura, so double P, double G. And then here we can see the familiar shape of the turn as it follows. This is our main note, and then we have the note above, the note itself, the note below, the note itself as it weaves around that main note. That's the turn. And then here we have a quick blip up and then straight back again to the main note, and that's the upper mordent. Mordent, just spelling that carefully. And so now we have a little challenge, and we're asked to rewrite the music in parts A and B as shown above, but instead of giving the full realisation, giving the actual proper use of the ornament signs. And so we can see for A, we have bass clef E, and then this is the main note. So that would be a crotchet. There we have a crotchet. So we can see crotchet, 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 and it's so much easier to read. And so we would know we would start there. Sorry, let me do that again. Now we'd start on the note above, then the note itself, note below, note itself. And it's much easier to just read it with the main note and the symbol. Now here we have two shared notes, and this is the main note, this is the ornament. And so the main note would be a minim, and that's A in the bass clef, but then we'd show the appoggiatura, and this one does not have a line through it. This shows that it's shared equally. We just slur that to join those together, and that just leaves us the last note of the bar to add. And then here, this is our main note, and this is the acciaccatura, the crush note in. So we'd write this as a crotchet. And then we'd add the ornament. And we break the rule for stems. The ornament just has the stem going up with a little line through it to show that that's the crush note or the acciaccatura. And then we could just slur those together. Actually, you don't have to slur that really. You could just pop the note in. And so that's going to be, now we've got to continue to write it as it's shown. That's got to be tied to a quaver. And then stepping down, there's our next quaver. So it should sound exactly the same. And then here, much easier than writing all of these notes. Remember, a trill alternates upwards. So this is our note, and that trills for a whole crotchet beat, including the little turn at the end. So we have the trill sign above the B, and then we have the final note and the rest to complete that. So perhaps now you just feel you can have a go of this. It's much better to have a go. I know that I always say this, but it's so much better to try it on your own, and then you can learn by your mistakes. It's okay, always writing in pencil. Then we can just erase it out. So we're given the first bar here, so that shows us the acciaccatura. That would be a crotchet with that little note crushed in. And so let's continue. So here we have two notes equally shared. That will be our main note, and that will be the ornament. So let's just pop that. So there's our main note. And then here is the appoggiatura divided equally between the two. And then we just continue copying. So we've got all of the music. So this is exactly, shall I use a ruler? Let's use a ruler. Quite big bars, there's a lot of space there, isn't there? and then just copying the next note into the next bar, and then we have just one crotchet beat, but notice that the turn comes after the note has sounded, so we don't place the turn sign above the note, we place it just afterwards. So the note is a C, and then the turn would come afterwards because the turn occurs in the second half of that beat. And then finally, this is our given note. Oh, and the treble clef, I do apologise. Change clef, it's not a C, it's an A. Okay, carrying on. So now here we have the B flat, that will be a crotchet. And so that just requires our upper mordent sign. And I think it just shows, it really illustrates the point that it's so much easier to read with the symbols than it is actually looking at all of the kind of mathematical divisions of it. It's so much easier to know that you just kind of squish that note in and just share that equally between the two. There we have a little meander around after the note and so on. And so I think that perfectly illustrates how ornament symbols are so helpful to a performer. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.